Hi everybody, Jill here. Welcome to my channel. You've landed on Jill and Beauty Therapy, and today we are going to be doing a full face of drugstore makeup. Most of what we're going to be playing with today happens to be L'Oreal. I didn't do that on purpose, but that's what it ended up being. So I did a little bit of a drugstore haul, if you will. Really excited to try these things. Gonna let you know that I couldn't help it. And so I did play with some of these things a little bit before I went to bed the day I bought this. It's been a couple days since. And so it's not gonna be a super first impression with most of these things, but you know what? That's okay, because I've already learned a few things and I'll be able to share that with you. I'm not big on first impressions, really, when it comes to makeup or skincare for that matter. You know, sometimes you gotta live with it for a little bit before you really decide if it's something that you're gonna like or not. Not to say there are some other times when you can tell right away, oh gosh, no, I do not like this. I'm sipping on some lavender rose tea today. It's not hot anymore, I can tell you that. This is not a formal sort of review on any of this. This is not a let's do this foundation for the day and I'll check in later. This is really just let's hang out together and let's play with this new makeup I have. All right, I'm going to scooch a little closer. These products are part of the L'Oreal's Age Perfect line. It's their serum concealer, their serum foundation that we're going to check out. Also grabbed another L'Oreal concealer that I kind of want to take a look at. So I grabbed two different colors, you know, hoping that if one didn't work, the other one would. We may have to mix them. We will see. We're going to start with this, however. This is their Age Perfect Primer. I am not a primer person at all. Very rarely will I actually wear a primer. But if you need your makeup to stick around for a long while, say you're in a wedding, at a wedding, in an event, or at an event, and you really want your makeup to stick around, then a primer can be actually quite essential. Anyway, gonna try this one. This has got that rose undertone, so while I do have some pinkness, you know, I tend to have more of sort of a neutral to maybe even a bit of a yellow undertone, so I think this will be okay for me. If you do have quite a ruddy undertone and you have a lot of red and pink, probably wouldn't go for this. So gonna do only half of my face with this. Now, I do want to point out something. So this is, yes, the Age Perfect Blurring Primer. This is infused with something L'Oreal likes to call caring serum. What is that? It sounds so vague and yet lovely. Caring serum. Oh, L'Oreal. So yes, this is definitely rosy on the pink side. Like primers, it does make the skin feel very soft and velvety. And that is no exception here. I tend to not like the ingredient deck on most primers. That's why I stay away from them. So this one dries pretty nicely. It does give you quite a nice sort of finish, but it's not over the top. So I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I'm going to go ahead and just put this on the left side of my face. And we will see if this step really makes a difference. Now, I am not one, if I do wear a primer, I am not one to wear them every day. Again, because I don't generally like the formulas for my skin, something that I just don't want to put on my skin every day. Caring serum. Moving on, let's move on and try this. Now, I went ahead and grabbed number 20, which is Golden Ivory, and just Ivory, which is number 10. So these are the two that I grabbed. Okay, so here is just the plain Ivory. Blends pretty well with my skin tone, really, because there is a bit of a yellow base with that. It does kind of disappear, but this is my hand. Very different here. Very different. I just want you to see. So this would be the Golden Ivory. This is number 20. So let's take a look on the other side of my hand with this. This one is definitely more orange and just, I don't know. I'm not liking that at all. And boy, if it does end up oxidizing through the day, I'm going to be in a world of hurt if I put that all over my face. So you know what, for today, and I'm going to experiment down the road and I'll try mixing, but I think for today, really, I'm just going to go ahead and go with the plain old Ivory, and we'll set this one aside. I do want to tell you, there is fragrance in this, and I'm not used to that. I'm one to stay away from fragrance and highly fragranced beauty makeup items. I'm having a very hard time finding words today. Great, this will be interesting. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some of this right here on my applicator. Everything that I'm using today will be linked down below in the description box. And let's go ahead and begin. Oh no, I just grabbed the, guys, I just put Golden Ivory on. Shh, it's fine. Okay, that's okay. We'll just do this now. You guys didn't see that. I could edit that out and you wouldn't even know, but I'm not. I'm going to be honest with you. Now, you know, as the day goes on, this may be the reason why the primer is going to really be a great option. But just looking in my normal mirror here and my 5x mirror over here, you know, I actually like the look of this foundation better without a primer, because you know, my really beautiful oil that I pressed into my skin with some of that beautiful cucumber spritz, which has the hyaluronic acid and all of that in it, that is going to be kind of coming through the day and even just now. And I like the way it looks better. I feel like that primer kind of a bit mattified my skin, which is something that I'm not really fond of, as you know. So just looking at it, yeah, I think I actually like the way it looks better without any primer at all. Coverage wise, you know, this is pretty nice. It is definitely buildable, I want to say, as I just kind of try to experiment with that right now. I like, even, you know, with the primer and what I'm seeing, I do like the way it makes my skin look. It's very light, very skin light. Well, today we're going to try two concealers here. So this is the Age Perfect. This is the True Match Concealer, both L'Oreal. And I'm going to just kind of see what we got here. Now. And again, if I forget to put what I'm doing here as you watch on the screen, definitely check down in that description box because I will put everything down there, including the colors that I use in case you have, you know, you think you have very similar complexion as I do. This year, my dark circles have amped up so much. So that coverage is more important than ever for me. However, I always try to keep my concealer right where I need it, really. I don't want to use it down in this way. You know, I want to get away with less is best, less is more with my concealer because, you know, got the crepey tissue down there. Anything that sits on there, it's probably eventually going to settle in and make me look not so great as the day goes on. So let's see how this goes. So I'm going to put it right in there. I like to kick it out here. So first, you know what? I'm going to actually use my finger here before I go to something else. And I'll do that. Okay, well, my goodness, this is actually kind of nice. Okay, now I'm going to go in with this. I like the finish these give me with both my foundation and my concealers. While it will tap off a little extra product, I don't know, I do like them. Didn't give me the coverage that I'm used to, but it's very pretty. It's very natural. It's very light. It is settling, I would say, more than I'm used to right there with my crepey skin. But it does want to settle right in there. So, but for now, I am definitely thinking there's promise in this as well. We will see how it wears and if it disappears real quickly in the day. That's the other thing. So let's go right now on the other eye and we'll try, this is the True Match. Let's see. This has a squeeze tube situation. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Oh God. Oh, wow. Okay. Holy moly. I wasn't expecting it to be that light. I thought it was going to be a little thicker, but this is very light. I'm just going to get rid of some of that extra right here. That was very watery, but I like it too. Very pretty. I hope these last. I hope they give me at least maybe 4 good hours of stickability, sticking around type of possibilities. That would be great. I mean, I think I put a little more than I would have, but that's also very pretty. This is very light. I can tell there is something that's very hydrating in there. Probably hyaluronic acid. That's pretty. It's not as sort of, the texture is different than this one. This one is wanting to really settle into all my crepiness. Oh yeah, it really is. I'll see if I can maybe give you guys a bit of a zoom up on this. This reminds me a bit, guys, of the Bare Minerals Serum Concealer. Man, I am really liking this. I think I probably actually could have gotten a little bit darker in this color. I'm always a little afraid to do that. This is the W1-2. This is the warm 1-2. I don't know. I think I might have been able to get something just a little bit darker. So seeing these like this and comparing these two, this one really bumps this one aside. I am really liking this so much better by how it looks and all of that. So this is probably not a good idea, but I'm going to go in real light with this on this side. And that's probably not a good idea because now I'm going to layer it over something else. So it's not going to give me the same effect, but wow. Yeah, I'm really liking this. Not getting, again, the same coverage as I would with a heavier concealer, but that's okay. I think it's brightening things enough that I think it'll be fine. So far, so good, L'Oreal. So far, so good. Again, first impressions. We'll see how things go. as the day progresses. All right, I'm going to go ahead and comb through the brows, get out any foundation and whatever happened in there out. Sip my tea. Here's the palette, guys, that I chose. This is a L'Oreal. It's their nude palette. It's the Nude Intense by L'Oreal. I did play with this a little bit last night. And these three colors are a no-go for me. They turned so orange on me that it was just not good. Not good at all. So we are not going to touch these three at all today. I'm glad I played with it because I may have just turned off, you know, my camera and just never finished recording. So, yep, unfortunately, as pretty as they are, and you know, they look really sort of mauve-y with a slight, maybe peachy undertone, which is a little scary for me when it does that. Especially this one here. These two to me look quite mauve-y. So I was really surprised when it did that to me. So we're going to hang out kind of more in this area. This color I'm intrigued about, and I'm hoping it'll be okay. We'll see. There are a couple mattes, but I want to say most of these are satin, so not a great choice when it comes to an all-over wash color. I'm going to try to find a drugstore something that I can use as a wash color, because something else I found out when playing with this palette is it looks a little chalky because I didn't use an all-over wash color, and I think it might help us if we do that. But yeah, it was a bit chalky looking. Wasn't impressed, but we're going to try harder today. I don't even remember how much this was. This is a Sigma palette, and you know, just look for something in your collection that would be a good wash color, something that is on a matte side if possible. You don't want anything really light reflecting. Something that's more of a neutral nude sort of skin color, or even something with a little buttery yellow background, something vanilla-like, not white, but more in that. So I don't know. I just saw this. This is Humble. This is the color Humble. This happens to be in the Sigma Warm Neutrals palette, and we're going to grab this color right here. We're going to do that as our wash color. This step, and I mentioned it in the last video that I did, and in probably all my videos, to be honest, this step I have found to be pretty crucial with my crepey eye tissue. I need something. If you're a painter, you're familiar with gesso, and it's just this really nice base that you can blend your other colors over the top of with ease. Need that. I need that with my crepey older eye tissue. And I know that's only going to get more challenging. It's only going to get more crepey, more droopy, and all of that. But you know what? I will tweak. We will go on this journey together, and we are going to navigate it, and we're going to see what we can do to just get through it. So, yep, I put this everywhere, especially here in the corner, but mobile lid, up to the brow, everywhere. I do tend to try to look for something that is more of a vanilla buttery yellow, because that is a very brightening blend, a very brightening sort of base color to lay everything over the top of. And if it's matte, perfect. As you can see, I am wearing a sort of heather purple color in my sweatshirt today. I think I'll raise this up a little bit. There we go. And so I'll probably sort of use that as my inspiration. I tend to be a bit matchy-matchy when it comes to my eyes. I'm going to incorporate some warm browns to this as well, but let's go ahead and start. I'm going to grab, I wonder what this is like. Okay, that's much darker. I definitely recommend doing that. Do a little swatch. You know, I was curious about this color here. It's like, I wonder how dark that is. That's a good amount of pigment there. So, but I'm going to start there. I'm going to start building some depth. I'm going to go ahead and use my wash brush with this. tap it off really well. And let's go ahead and start packing it right here in the center, starting right there. And that has changed this year for me. I used to start a little further down, but now it's right about here, right in the center, because I have more wrinkles going on here, and I want to keep the, major part of the pigment right here. I don't want to bring it down too low. It'll settle into my wrinkles and it'll bring down, sort of the whole eye and the face. So I just start right there. And that's a perfect place to start if you have downturned eyes. You really want to keep this line straight right here. And it's just a good place to kind of start. So I have to say this color is very pretty. I did not play with this one. This was not one that I sampled the other night. This is very pretty. It's blending very well. So much better having that base. That all over wash color is saving the day. That's very pretty. Oh, I'm so sorry. If I hold my mirror too close to the camera, it will focus on that. And I think that's what just happened. I apologize for that. I'm going to try not to do that. Stop doing that. I'll hold it out just a little ways. This is my 5x mirror. I tend to have to rely on this more and more, whereas I used to work just with a regular mirror most of the time. Now it's mostly my 5x mirror. I like to turn my head so I can really pay attention to how soft I'm making this, and to make sure that I don't go too far down in this area. So I really want to soften every single application that I do. I want to soften it out, really blur those lines so I don't see a real stark stop and start. Yes, I'm going to probably make sure that the pigment is more pronounced in a certain area, a bit more rich than other areas. But when it comes to the blending of the lines, that is really important. All right, I'm going to swatch this color here, this one here. Oh, that's pretty. That's really pretty. It's a bit coppery. But I think that will be pretty because we are eventually going to really play with this pretty deep, dark plum color. So let's go ahead and dive into this color. And we're going to add a little more depth to this. So I'm going to do that. I'm really going to tap it off and see how it's angled down to the left as I'm looking at it. That's where that angle is going. So I'm looking at it. That angle is to the left. And I'm going to do my right eye. So this angle is here, which is great. And I'm just going to tap it in. Tap, tap, tap. Okay. I'm going to load it up again. I just wasn't sure what the payoff was going to be. It's always good to be safe rather than sorry. And so I'm just going to build that. Oh, no, I don't want my mirror to be focused on. Okay, I'm going to take this. I'm not going to take this color anywhere near here. This, I'm going to keep that really pretty wash color that we use. That's going to stay bright, but I am going to lay it here about so far into sort of my natural crease. It's going to naturally go above that. And that's okay. It's just a good guideline. All right. I am actually really enjoying this palette so far. It's behaving really nicely. Not getting a ton of fallout. Of course, we're knocking it off really well. When I blend it, it doesn't blend away all the pigment because sometimes that can happen. That's not happening. So far, I think this is a keeper. All right, I'm going to go in now with a bit of a dome brush. This is definitely more of a compacted brush. It is a smallish dome brush because I want a little more precision. We are going to go in now with this gorgeous plum, deep sort of heather plum color. It is gorgeous. It's kind of what made me choose this palette. So I'm going to dip into that. Oh, and I can tell actually that it might be a little more powdery than the others so far. I'm going to blow that away. These days, falling over my lash line. So I'm going to really concentrate this, getting close. I'm going to load again, tap it off to that lash line, but I want a pretty thick line. These days I do. You know why? Because you wouldn't be able to see it if I kept it real small, like maybe I used to, because my eyelid is kind of gently, you know, falling over that lash line. So when I lift my eyes up and expose all my wrinkles up here, it looks like I'm really covering up almost all my mobile lid, but I'm not. But I do want it to be pretty thick there. I do want a smokier look, but when I'm just normal, you know, I want to be able to see those colors that I'm applying there. Can be a little tricky. All right, I'm gonna do that to the other eye now. Okay, I'm gonna grab my favorite brush for applying powder eyeshadow underneath my lower lash line. It is an e.l.f. brush. Very inexpensive, very compacted inside here, gives you a lot of control. So we are gonna go in the lower lash area down in here, and we're gonna go in with this color here. That was kind of that first color that we grabbed after the wash color. And I'm gonna load this up, tap it off really well, lift, you know, kind of squinch it up, and I am gonna tap, tap, tap this in underneath. I'm gonna reload, knock it off really well. Tap, tap, tap. All right, now I'm gonna wipe it off here on my terry cloth towel, and I'm gonna go in with that very deep plum color that we sort of did right in here. So gonna load that up. Now I am gonna press that in very close to my lash line, only about halfway. And I'm gonna make sure that I pay attention to the angle of this brush, because again, I don't wanna bring it out in here at all. I want to connect it, but that's about it. So I'm gonna connect it up here, even taking it almost vertically, connecting it, tapping it. All right, let's do the other eye. Definitely curling the lashes. That's a big game changer if you haven't started doing that yet. Really opens the eyes as we get older, because our eye tissue and our eye, you know, it does kind of fall over. It pushes our lashes down. And that's why your lashes tend to look like they're growing straight down. So it is quite a great tip, really. Something as simple as curling your eyelashes opens your eyes, makes you look more awake. So definitely do that if you actually bought 2 mascaras from the drugstore, but we are going to stick with the whole Age Perfect. This is their Age Perfect mascara. Come on, camera. There we go. This is in black. Let's try it out. This is supposed to be a lash magnifying mascara. And yes, please, let's do that. I'm taking some time, guys. I am taking some time to just get my eyelashes going here. All right. All right. First tee. And this is matching our whole look, and that's crucial. I use BDB Billion Dollar Brows, and this is taupe. Easier brow. It just makes me feel great. You know, this one, I don't have to fuss with this one so much, and so it starts out the whole brow application process on a positive note, and that's good. You don't need to do that. This one gives me all the sass. All the sass. Oh my gosh. I feel like it's getting balder and more bald. Oh, golly. I'm gonna have to comb through this. What is happening these days over here? I feel like I lost a bunch more overnight. Okay. Let's soften those babies. You're gonna have to, wow, okay. A tinted brow gel is a must for me. However, I did not find one. So I'm not going to use one because I promised you this is going to be only a drugstore makeup video. So we're not doing a tinted brow gel, which is a pretty crucial step for me, but I am not going to do it. So this is Control Freak by NYX. This is a clear brow gel. I just didn't find a tinted one that excited me. So we're just gonna go, oh Lordy, and this is a huge applicator. You know, it's like a mascara applicator. I actually don't like that. I like a little small one that I can just really have a lot of just precision, and this is not that. But I guess it's doing its job. This is the Physicians Formula All-Star palette, and you can buy these all individually, but I'm gonna go in and do a little contouring with this one here. It's a little orangey. Mainly, I don't want any sort of kickback when it comes to illumination. You know, I don't want a prism effect in my contour at all. So we'll see what happens here. So I'm going to take this off right now, I think. And I'm going to just do circles around the perimeter here. Kind of put that right in here. And if I'm not liking sort of what I'm seeing with the application, I can just go in and just kind of pat it down. Again, we just want this to look very warm and natural. We don't want big orange blotchiness going on. I'm going to go and I'm going to put it kind of right in here. I'm going to bring it down in here. Here. This is definitely more of a bronzer than a contour, but we're using it as both. I'm going to bring it down in here. Cut in a little nicer jawline there. Make sure my ears don't look all pale and weird. So now I am just going to kind of soften that. All right, so I did purchase this blush. This is a L'Oreal. This is the True Match. I was looking for sort of a true pink. When I saw it in person, because I ordered all of this off online, I was like, that's not exactly the color I was thinking it would be. But we're going to go in real light with this. You know I love my cream blushes, and I did order a drugstore cream blush that looks gorgeous. It is L'Oreal. I ordered 2 of them actually, but they didn't get here in time. They're not going to be in for several days, and we will try that out in a different video. But for now, let's grab a nice floofy brush, something that's not going to deposit a ton, and I'm just going to sort of pounce it right in here. Well, that's kind of pretty, I guess. You're hearing my cat Lila. It is past her lunchtime and she's letting me know. It's kind of pretty, right? You thinking it's kind of pretty? I think it's kind of pretty. Something that's really interesting, I'm looking in my 5x mirror. Again, keeping in mind I put primer on this side of my face and not on this. And I'm telling you, I see more pores, more sort of dehydration lines on this side of my face. It's actually pretty pronounced versus this side. This side, I am seeing more buoyancy. It's almost like anything that I put on my skin that may have the hyaluronic acid, that may have any of that. Yeah, I'm loving the way everything is looking on this side of my face versus this side. I'm glad I only did that on half. I'm sure it's something that you probably can't see on your end, but I certainly can see it. So this primer is a no-go for me right out of the gate. I can say that. This is a very nude lip liner. I tend to go that route. This is L'Oreal. It's quite pretty. It is quite nude, very light. A little creamier than what I like, a little creamier than what I'm used to, because I actually don't like creamy lip pencils. Anyway, let's do this. I do like to tuck my liner really in when I get to the corner. I like to touch the very tip of my lip in the center. I don't overline with lip liners, but I do kind of do that and do a straight line. And then I take it really right on and inside even my natural lip line on the top and bottom by the time I get to the corner there. And that's because I don't want to accentuate the downturning of my lips. And if I were to take this and take it all the way out, and if I were to take it and, you know, kind of follow that in, it would do that. It would really pronounce that sort of natural aging thing that goes on. And it's really pronounced if you have lips that are more on the thin side. I do like this color. I think it's pretty. My favorite is, as you know, the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. That is my go-to lip pencil. It goes with just about every single color I have. 044. This is Revlon. It is pretty. Very creamy. I'm going to go with this color right here. And I'm just going to kind of deepen this up just a little bit. I'm going to wipe that off. I moved my terry cloth towel over here. And again, I'm really going to soften that up. Yeah, I like that better. And a lot of times this doesn't happen right when I do my makeup because I don't have my brows on yet. Don't have my mascara on. I don't have my hair done and on. So it sometimes needs a little bit more. And I don't know that until I'm done with all of that. So for me, believe it or not, I'm also struggling with the cheeks. I'm not super liking this color. Let's go for the CoverGirl. This is the CoverGirl True Blend. CoverGirl True Blend blush. I like it because it's not really flat. You know, it's not super matte, whereas this one is quite matte and it just looks a little chalky. I think the color is a little off with what we have going on here. So let's I'm going to take this, blend it out. Man, I just really think it's so obvious how much more I like this side of my face versus this side of my face. That's crazy. All right. The other thing that I'm going to do, I think this is going to be a little something that we're going to need to do. This is by Undone Beauty. Really love these. These are sort of a blend between a gloss and a lipstick. So they don't wear great, but sometimes when this happens and I just need to push the color a little to one side or the other, cool or warm, these do a great job. I love these. Perfect. Yes, these are nice. They don't last, again, they don't have the greatest staying power. They're gorgeous on bare lips as well. Just a little something else, you know, just a little pump of something. I am really liking this concealer. It's very light, but it has enough pigment in it where, you know, it gave me the coverage. But what I'm really loving about it is how it makes my tissue look, how it makes my skin look there. Very skin-like, not settling in that crepiness at all. I think because it is quite thin, you know, very serum-like with just a punch of pigment. You know, it's not covering up my freckling, but very few actually do. Boy, I think this is the one that is really the highlight. This kind of became my favorite purchase with everything that we played with today. I will definitely circle back and follow up on this for sure the more I wear it. And if you see that I'm grabbing this with other makeup tutorials, I think that's a big clue that you know that I really like this. So right now, this is really impressing me. All right, so that wraps up this one. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I always appreciate it. Give me a comment, throw me a comment. I read every single one. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this and subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you've hit that notification bell if you have subscribed and if you plan on subscribing, because it will let you know when I upload brand new content. Thanks so much, and I will see you in the next video.
No more
Bye-bye.
talking about it. The way it is, the way it is. It's no mystery. There's no getting around it. When you're here, we got chemistry. We